Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. Today we are going to be doing a book haul. I am calling this my pre-Christmas book haul because chances are there will be more books coming into my home between now and the end of the year. So I may do another book haul towards the end of the month. But today's the 18th and I have quite a few books to share with you. And I just didn't want to wait anymore because I'm starting to put them in different places. And I'm like, wait, I need to haul that first. So here we go. We're just going to haul some books. There's quite a lot. Buckle up, get some tea, settle in. Here we go. The first stack that I have are Christmas themed books. These first two came from a book box from a local person who I met at a vendor fair or something. And she has a book box called The Book Brigade. And I talked about it, I believe, in one of my lives this month. But I received 2 books in that book box, along with a beautiful mug that says Merry and Bright in its evergreen color. It's beautiful. And some hot cocoa and a candle. It was a fantastic Christmas box. But in that box came 2 Susan Mallery books. And I believe they are in the same series. So the first one is The Christmas Wedding Guest. And I'm listening to this on audio at the moment, very currently. So I will get this one read. And then the second one is Home Sweet Christmas, which is the sequel to this one. So I was thrilled that that box had so many lovely treats in it. I did place a book outlet order, and I also showed that in a live, but I will show them again here. I got 3 short story collections to be read next year for Christmas when I'm focusing on short stories. So I have Christmas with Charles Dickens, Christmas with O. Henry, and Christmas with L.M. Montgomery. I'm really excited. I think they're really sweet all together, and they're super short. So I'm not sure how many stories are in each of them. Let's see. L.M. Montgomery has 3. The Charles Dickens one also has 3, and the O. Henry one has just 2, but The Gift of the Magi is in there, and I haven't read that in a really long time, so that will be a lovely read for next Christmas. I also grabbed The Christmas Bookshop by Jenny Colgan. A lot of people have been reading this year, and it makes me want to read it, even though I did read another Jenny Colgan Christmas book this year, and it was really not my favorite. I didn't like it really at all. So, but this one is set in a bookshop, and I have high hopes for this one. Another Jenny Colgan that I have is Christmas at Rosie Hopkins' Sweet Shop. This one is set in the Derbyshire Hills. So this one is set in Edinburgh, Scotland, which most of her books are in Scotland. I'm not sure where. This one is just in England. So I have 2 more Jenny Colgan. Typically I like Jenny Colgan, but I just really didn't like Christmas on the Island. And then another one I got from Book Outlet. I believe this was from Book Outlet. Or was this possibly was a Pango book order? 2 Women Switch Places, Blame It on the Mistletoe by Beth Jared, or Garrett. Ellie is a social media star with the hashtag DreamLife, or so it seems. Determined to shake up her content and gain new followers, she's on a mission. Can she find a British fan to swap houses with for the holidays? And that just felt like the movie The Holiday to me. So I feel like that's going to have fun vibes. We'll see. We'll see. If you've read this one, let me know. Not Christmassy, but related to Christmas, because in my Once Upon a Book Club 12 Days of Bookmas box, I've already received 2 books, and we're only on day 5 today. So on day 1, I received The Duchess by Wendy Holden. This is a historical fiction, and it's going to deal with the Prince of Wales and Wallace. He's the one who declined the throne in order to be with the love of his life. So that's going to be a historical fiction about that. And then also a thriller, One by One, kind of a popcorn thriller, right? One by One by Ruth Ware. Ruth Ware and I don't always get along. I haven't really loved either of the books of hers that I've read. I've read 2. I did not really like Woman in Cabin 10 much at all, even though it was a compulsive read. By the end, I didn't like it. And I just don't like an unreliable narrator. So I'm not sure if this has an unreliable narrator or not. But it does have a very wintry cover. So we'll see. Kind of fun that I've already received 2 books from that Advent book box. 12 Days of Christmas book box. Let's do next the books that were gifted to me, because That's fun. I have just a couple here. Kathy Stevens so kindly sent me 2 books off of my Amazon wish list, which is never expected. It is always in my description box, but it's always such a delight and a thrill when something comes that I didn't order myself. That's very, very sweet, Kathy. She sent me 2 books in this Bible study series by Charles Swindoll. I used to give these to my mom back in the day. She has read them and loves them, but we had a few missing from the set, and I actually have the set here at my house now. Really excited about this because next year, instead of trying to read through the Bible in a year again, I don't do that every year. I do want to focus on some Bible studies, and so maybe I'll pick up some of these. But she gifted me number 7, Job, and number 5, Elijah. So I'm really excited to have those, and I think I just maybe need one more in my collection of these Bible studies of characters in the Bible will be complete. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. That's so kind of you. And then Heidi asked for my address, and I thought she was just going to send me for something from Amazon, but no, this full-on package, gift wrapped, showed up. I have a feeling it's not a book. I'm guessing it's a puzzle because I also love puzzles, so we'll see. But Heidi, this was a delight. Oh, that's a beautiful card. Silent Night. Gold foiling and silver as well. I will not read the card right now to you, but I will read it to myself and then clip to when I'm opening the gift. Oh, that's so nice. So she did choose something from my wish list, but she got it so that she could wrap it for me. So Heidi, that's so thoughtful. So thoughtful and kind. Dun, da, da, da. No, you didn't. I'm so excited. Oh my word. I'm so excited. Okay, this is the coolest. I did put these on my wish list because I think they're so cool. It's like a miniature. It doesn't look miniature here, but you can see here, you put it on your bookshelf and it sits in amongst your books, but it lights up and it's like a little bookshop. Oh my goodness. Sunshine Town. It's actually the street. So this is what it looks like up close. This is the street, but the bookshop is part of the street. So it's a miniature and it's almost like a puzzle or a Lego type of a thing, but it's a miniature that you have to put together. And so it has all the little pieces and I'm going to have to put it together myself. I'm so excited. Heidi, I'm so excited that you got this for me. I just think this is going to be so cool. It's all wood, paper, and metal, it says. So there's a little bit of everything, but it just gives you all the directions of how to put it together. Oh man, that might have to be, well, you'll probably see it in some vlogs because I will probably start working on this relatively soon, not until after Christmas, but there's so many details, like little plants and like, what is that? Like mailbox or something on the building there. The clock, the trees, a little owl above the bookstore. It's just so cute. Even on the table, there's like teacups and, oh man, this is going to be so fun to put together. I'm so excited. Heidi, thank you so much. That was so kind of you. Oh man, I'm excited. Okay, I need to carry on. I was not expecting that. I was thinking it was a puzzle all this time. I thought it was a puzzle. Kind of is. I have to put it together. Okay, next I will do my Pango. I have been selling books like crazy on Pango. Thank you to all of you who've been keeping an eye on my Pango shop, who followed it. So you see when I put new books on there, because I constantly am kind of putting new books on there. Books that I read throughout the month that I don't think I'm going to keep, or books that I decide I don't want on my shelves anymore. I don't always save them up to do an unhaul. Now they're just going up on my shop pretty regularly. I'm probably going to put my shop on pause while I'm gone at home. Obviously, I'm going to be gone for almost about 4 or 5 days. But anyways, I have been using some of the credit that I get from Pango to buy new books. Of course I have. Why wouldn't I? But one of my boxes came, I got a bundle from one shop, and honestly, I don't remember which books now, but I saved the note because I just thought this was the coolest thing. So Marsha has a shop on Pango, and apparently I bought some of her books. And she said she's like, oh my gosh, from Books and Jams. I saw your name when I printed the label. It's like sending books to a celebrity, LOL. And it's just somebody who's been watching my channel, doesn't always comment, but just shared about how she's gotten recommendations and has really loved my channel. And it just meant so much to me. I was very excited. So thank you, Marsha. And she threw in a couple tea bags because she knows I like to drink tea. And she put in a bookmark from a local to her, the Tattered Cover Bookstore in Denver, I think, right? Somewhere in Colorado. I just thought that was a nice little addition to the books that I bought from her. That was so nice. It made my day when I got that. I thought it was so cool. So cool. But here are some more books that I've been buying on Pango. Actually, this one is Christmas. It should go in my Christmas pile. But I got Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayless. She wrote the 12 Dates of Christmas, which I currently have checked out from the library. I heard a lot about that one last year, but I don't know that I've heard very much about this one, but I'm just putting that in my Christmas pile. A city bookshop owner heads to the English countryside for a holiday reunion, only to face her childhood enemy. Love! I'm so excited. That sounds good. And then I got this is another Christmas one. Whoops. Catching Christmas by Terry Blackstock. Okay, Chantel raves about this book and says it's her favorite Christmas book. She talks about it all the time, and I've never read it. So finally, I own it. This is probably going to get read this year. This is a Christian fiction. I don't even know what the story is. I just know that Chantel loves it, so I'm gonna read it. So Catching Christmas, going in my Christmas pile. Oh man, I love that I have so many Christmas books. Okay, I have two that I grabbed because they were on my anticipated reads list this year. And I haven't read them yet. Actually, this might have been last year. I don't know if it was this year or last year. I can't remember now. Murder at Malowin Hall by Colleen Cambridge. This is an Agatha Christie adjacent book. It takes place at Malowin Hall, which is where Agatha Christie lived. And we follow her housekeeper, who has a crush on Hercule Poirot, a fictitious detective in many of Agatha Christie's books. But there's a dinner party or something and somebody is murdered at Malowin Hall, obviously. And the housekeeper I don't know if she takes it upon herself to figure out what happened or if she's involved in some way. But it's a historical mystery series, and this is the beginning of it. And I just think it sounds delightful. Another one that was on my anticipated reads list is The Littlest Library by Poppy Alexander. I have since heard that some people were a little disappointed in this. It wasn't quite what they were hoping for, but I still want to give it a chance because it was one of my anticipated reads. It's about a woman who moves to this small town and sets up a little free library in one of the in a phone booth that's on her property or something along those lines. Just sounds lovely. Small town vibes, a little free library, bookish. I mean, I'm here for it. Recently, I picked up The Heiress because this came out, I don't know if it was in a Patreon discussion. I think it was in a Patreon discussion, or it was in a live. I don't remember. But The Heiress by Molly Greeley is a Pride and Prejudice novel. The heiress in this story is Anne de Bourgh, Lady Catherine de Bourgh's niece, who is sickly in Pride and Prejudice. Also, Lady Catherine is convinced that Anne is going to marry Darcy. Are Darcy and Anne in on that? I don't think so. But this is going to be the story of Anne de Bourgh. And I just think that sounds so much fun. I love Jane Austen related novels. So I just feel like I'm going to really like this one as well. And it's a beautiful cover. I picked up a wintry middle grade. I think this is a book that I threw in one of my bundles in order to get free shipping on Pango. So this one's called Winter Frost by Michelle Hautz. And I don't know anything about this, but it looks really cute. It's a middle grade. It should be an ordinary Danish Christmas. It's a Christmas story for Bettina. Instead, her parents have to go away for a few days, leaving 12-year-old Bettina in charge of the house, the barn, and her baby sister, Pia. In all the confusion, no one remembers to set out the traditional bowl of Christmas rice pudding for the tiny niece, a gnome-like character said to look after the family and their livestock. But only Bettina's grandfather still believes in the niece, so forgetting the silly custom couldn't be a big deal, could it? Dun, dun, dun. When baby Pia disappears during an afternoon nap, Bettina must do everything she can to set things right, even if it means entering the magical world of the niece. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Nisse, But that sounds delightful, and I'm going to put it in my Christmas pile because it takes place at Christmas time. I have a couple here that are contemporary. Lucy Checks In is one that I've seen on NetGalley, but didn't request because I try to keep my NetGalley as close to my anticipated reads list as possible so that I'm reading those ones first. But this is by D. Ernst. In this one, we follow Lucia, who was the manager of this glamorous New York City hotel, had a close relationship with her hotel, with the hotel's owner. Says intimate relationship, but then he takes off and takes millions of dollars with him, and she's like, what? She needs a fresh start. She goes to France. I don't know if she buys a hotel or starts working in a hotel and has to like reinvigorate it, bring life back to it, redo it, renovate, all that stuff. Lucy Checks In. Set in France, hotel. Feels like a summery read to me, or springtime. Then we have Dear Sweet Pea by Julie Murphy. Is this middle grade? I don't know if this is middle grade or not. Julie Murphy wrote Pudding. Yeah, it is 8 to 12. Patricia Sweet Pea DeMarco wasn't sure what to expect when her parents announced they were getting a divorce. She never could have imagined they would have had the brilliant idea of living in nearly identical houses on the same street. In one house between them lives their eccentric neighbor, Miss Flora May, the famed local advice columnist behind Miss Flora May I. So dividing time between two homes is not easy. It's just going to kind of be this family drama, and Sweet Pea feeling caught in the middle. And I'm assuming this advice columnist, older lady, is going to help her work through it all. Sweet. This looks like a springtime book too, doesn't it? The Sweet Taste of Muscadines by Pamela Terry. Where did I hear about this? Honestly, I don't remember, but it was in my head and I saw it on Pango. Like, why not? It's a debut about a woman who returns to her small southern hometown in the wake of a tragedy, only to find the past upended by stunning family secrets. So, family drama set in the South. I'm in for that. All right, sorry if I'm in a different position. My doorbell rang, which is an odd occurrence. I have 2 books that I purchased on Amazon because in most of my videos, I have links to the books that I talk about. And when you all click on those links, whether you buy that book or you buy something else, I get some pennies. I get a little bit. And when that adds up, sometimes I get a gift card from Amazon. So I was able to purchase 2 things this month. So I purchased The Unknown Beloved by Amy Harmon. I love Amy Harmon. I love it. This one is going to take place between Chicago and Ohio in 1923. It's going to deal with a serial killer and this girl whose parents were murdered. And one of the detectives on the case at the time in Chicago reconnects with her later when they are both in Ohio. And so it deals with a serial killer, historical. I have heard from Amanda and a couple other people that they really love this one. And I trust Amy Harmon. I love her so much. Another one that I picked up with that Amazon gift card money is Things That Matter by Joshua Becker. This is one of my patron picks this month. And I feel like it's a perfect book to read as we move into a new year. It says overcoming distraction to pursue a more meaningful life. And the person who recommended it, Barbara, I believe she has read it and said that it was really good. But it just feels like a good book to kind of get focused and think about goals and things that matter as I start the new year. So I'm looking forward to reading that in that week in between Christmas and New Year's. This is the rest of my book outlet order. So again, if you were participating in that live, you will have already seen these. But I have Mr. Darcy's Dream by Elizabeth Aston. This is kind of a continuation of the Pride and Prejudice story. I do believe that this is maybe book 5 or 6 in the series. So I'm not sure if I can read them out of order or not. But I love, like I said, all things Austen related. Here we have a kind of sweet romance by Mimi Matthews, The Belle of Belgrave Square. She wrote a Christmas novella that I read a couple years ago and really liked, and so I would like to read more from Mimi Matthews. I have 2 Christian fiction here, The Painted Castle by Christy Cambron. It's a Lost Castle novel, and I have read The Lost Castle, but I haven't read Beyond in the series, so I picked up this one, The Painted Castle. And then Sarah Ladd, The Governess of Penwith Hall. In one of my Pango orders, I picked up another book by her that is further in this series, and I believe this is book 2. I think I still need to get my hands on book 1 in the series, but I do think that that's a beautiful cover and probably a springtime read. And then a little bit more literary fiction, The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. This was a finalist in the BookTube Prize. I don't remember what book won, but I do think this was a finalist in the BookTube Prize this year. And Nikki from Red Dot Reads, I believe, is the one that I heard say really, really loved this book. And we do have some similar reading, a lot of similar reading taste, actually. So this one is a rich, magical new novel on belonging and identity, love and trauma, nature and renewal. It's going to take place in Cyprus. Two teenagers, one is a Greek Cypriot and one is a Turkish Cypriot. They meet at a tavern on the island that they call home. In the tavern, hidden beneath garlands of garlic, chili peppers, and creeping honeysuckle, Costas and Daphne grow in their forbidden love for each other. So it's a forbidden love story. I'm looking forward to it. It takes place on Cyprus. And one of the things I'm going to be tracking in 2023 is location or setting of books and trying to just read from some different locations. So Cyprus would be a cool one to get there. And, here's the other Sarah Ladd book that I have. These 4 books I purchased on a day out that was part of a vlog. So you may have already seen these. I found a new, to me, it's only a couple months old, used bookstore, Bargain Books, in the south side of Richmond, which I don't usually go down there that often. I don't cross the river if I don't have to. But I did pick up a couple books from that bookstore. And one of them was this Sarah Ladd book. This is The Letter from Briarton Park. It does say down at the bottom, the swoon-worthy romance of Jane Austen meets the suspense of Charlotte Bronte. Dun, dun, dun. That sounds so good. I picked up a book that I do already own, but the copy that I have is not as nice as this. So I'm like, why not get a new one? This is The Girl from the Train by Irma Joubert, another Christian fiction. And this one is going to be World War II historical fiction. 6-year-old Gretel Schmidt is on a train bound for Auschwitz. Jacob Kowalski is planting a bomb on the tracks. I'm going to read that one. Another World War II, totally different than anything I've read before. This is called The True Story of Hansel and Gretel, a novel of war and survival by Louise Murphy. Yeah, a poignant and suspenseful retelling of a famous fairy tale set in a war-torn world. In the last months of the Nazi occupation of Poland, 2 children are left by their father and stepmother to find safety in a dense forest. Because their real names reveal their Jewishness, they are renamed Hansel and Gretel. They wander in the woods until they are taken in by Magda, an eccentric and stubborn old woman called Witch by the nearby villagers. Magda is determined to save them, even as a German officer arrives in the village with his own plans for the children. Dun, dun, dun. Sounds so good. And then at Ollie's, I just picked up this devotional about Enneagram 9, which is my Enneagram number. This is by Beth McCord, your Enneagram coach. But it is a devotional, so there are questions to think about. What difference does knowing you belong to God make in your life? Like, there are places to write and reflect and read. Yeah, I am looking forward to diving a little deeper into that this coming year. I have 2 more Pango books, and then the last stack that I have are ones that I did not send in my Christmas book exchange. So the books that I send to Amanda from the Curly Reader, Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, and Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, how I do is I collect lots of books and then I choose which ones to send to them. Some of them have already been some of the rejects have already been put up on Pango, and some are going onto my shelves. So I will share those with you. But 2 more Pango books that I picked up are Solimar by Pam Munoz Ryan. This is her newest release. She's a middle grade author that I just love. And then The Prophet Calls, which is by Melanie Sumrau. Born into a polygamous community in the foothills of New Mexico, Gentry Forrester feels lucky to live among God's children, apart from the outside world and its evils. So, kind of a cult type of a book. I'm looking forward to reading that. And then here are the ones that I did not send. So, sorry, Amanda, Sarah, and Lindsay, if any of these look really good to you, but they're on my shelves now. Let me know if any of them look good, and I might put it in your pile for next year. We have The Forgotten Seamstress by Liz Trenow. This is a historical fiction, dual timeline. Takes place right before World War I, and it has to do with sewing, obviously. Maria lands in the sewing room of the royal household, catches the eye of the Prince of Wales, a glamorous and intense gentleman, but her life takes a far darker turn, and soon all she has left is a fantastical story about her time at the Buckingham Palace. So that sounds kind of really good. Karen Harper is a historical fiction author that I have heard of before, but I'm not sure I've read anything. This is American Duchess, a novel of Consuelo Vanderbilt. 1895, the wedding of the century to the Duke of Marlborough, and her quest to live a life beyond the glitter and the gold. She was bullied into the wedding by her mother. She loved somebody else, but a deal was made, trading Vanderbilt wealth for a title and prestige, and Consuelo was bred to obey. Yikes! American historical fiction there. Another historical that didn't make the cut was A Flight of Dreams by Ariel Lahan. I have read a couple books by her and looking forward to another one. This one takes place in 1937. 97 people board the Hindenburg for its final doomed flight. So over the course of 3 days, their lies, fears, agendas, and hopes for the future will be revealed. And one in their party will set a plot in motion that will have devastating consequences for them all. Yikes. That sounds so good. That sounds so good. I kept Lauren Graham's book Talking as Fast as I Can. This is her memoir, and I will probably end up listening to this, but I will hold on to it until I listen to it. Lisa Wingate wrote Before We Were Yours, which I love, and this is Tending Roses. I think Lindsay already had this on her shelf, which is why it didn't make the cut this year. In this one, Kate is kind of tasked to be the member of the family who has to convince Grandma to move off of her land. I don't know if they want to sell it or why they need to move it, but in the process, Kate finds this old journal of her grandmother's and reads through it and starts to see things, life, her grandma, herself in a new light. It just sounds like a beautiful kind of family story. I picked up another Jon Krakauer, Into the Wild. This looks really little. Is it really this little? I really loved Under the Banner of Heaven by him. And I also have, what's the Everest one? Oh, stink. Oh, Into Thin Air. And then this one is Into the Wild. So I'm looking forward to reading more Jon Krakauer, nonfiction. I also have Solo by Kwame Alexander. This might have been a Pango purchase. I don't remember now. When the Heart Gets Lost, Let the Music Find You. I love books that have music in them. This is written in verse. I think it's YA though and not middle grade. It could be middle grade. I don't really know. But I am looking forward to that one. And then another nonfiction, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. I kind of can't believe I haven't read this yet. I've seen it around so many times. I've almost bought it many times. But now is the time. And this is in perfect condition. But this is a nonfiction about Henrietta Lacks, whose cells were taken after her death and used for some huge scientific discoveries. But her family was never told that this is what happened. And it's kind of exploded into this a big deal for sure. Doctors took her cells without asking. Those cells never died. They launched a medical revolution. Maybe she didn't die when they first took them. They launched a medical revolution in a multi-million-dollar industry. And more than 20 years later, her children found out, and their lives will never be the same. This is by Rebecca Skloot. So I've heard that this is really good. And oh, there's pictures. I'm excited. I always love when there's pictures in a nonfiction. There she is, Henrietta herself. Cool. And that is the end. I'm not obviously going to try to hold all these up because I'm surrounded by piles of books. I hope that you enjoyed this book haul. So many wonderful things. Thank you to those of you who sent me, Heidi and Kathy. So kind of you. So kind. I'm really excited to put together that miniature 3D creative bookend thing. And yeah, I'm just excited to add these books to my shelves. I would love to chat with you down in the comments below about any of the books that you saw here. Which ones do you think I should read right away? Which ones do you think maybe might not be for me? Which ones did you add to your TBR? Or anything else you want to talk about? I love talking with you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and spending some of your time with me today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you, even if you're not commenting like Marsha in her Pango shop. Whether you comment or not, I'm so appreciative that you're here and watching and supporting my channel. Thank you so much. And I look forward to talking with you in another video very soon. Bye.